What is the situation like at the moment in the capital?
The streets that are normally full of scooters and traffic at this hour are virtually deserted. There were gunshots overnight, but we are informed that these were soldiers and the police just holding back the demonstrators who are gathered outside the presidential palace and the National Assembly, wanting to defend their revolution. But otherwise, there's also been the torching of the offices of the old party of the former president Compaore, who was deposed last year.
Mr. Tsedu, will you provide us with a little bit of context as to how we got to this point? There was an uprising last year with the country, I believe, is in a transition to bring about democracy. Can you just take us through the key points that brought us to where we are at the moment?
Well, Compaore last year decided that he wanted to alter the constitution so that he can run again. There was an uprising that eventually saw him being deposed, and he ran away, and he's either in Abidjan or Morocco, depending on who you speak to. The success of that revolution was almost hijacked by the military, who then wanted to dictate who would be the leaders. And as a result, the transition is a transition that has some civilians. The president, for example, is a civilian, but the prime minister is a soldier who is a former commander of the presidential guard, which is the presidential. This former presidential guard is the group that yesterday marched into the cabinet meeting and kidnapped the president and the prime minister and two ministers. That kidnapping came because a commission that has been set up to look at the changes that must happen has recommended that that presidential guard must be disbanded. And the presidential candidates that are campaigning now, the campaign started on Saturday, the elections are on October 11. All the candidates agree that these guys must be disbanded. So it is this group that is supposed to be disbanded that has now created this problem. Yes.
Any casualties, if I may interrupt? My apologies for interjecting there. Any casualties reported thus far?
Say that again.
I wanted to find out whether or not there have been any injuries or any fatalities as a result of the protest that erupted after the incident unfolded.
So far, we've not heard of any injuries or casualties of any sort. But there are crowds that are gathered at the square.
And what has been the response of the army chief there?
The army chief, the real army now, because these other guys were just a unit that was protecting Compaore. The real army is involved in the negotiations with this unit. And Mr. Sharif C., who is the interim speaker of the parliament, is the most senior person now who is technically in charge of government. And he's not being held anywhere. He's safe somewhere. We were able to communicate with him overnight.
We'll have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Thank you so much, Mr. Tsedu, for that update coming to us live from Burkina Faso. And we will continue to keep a close watch on the situation there. It does seem rather tense at the moment.